Alright, so this was supposed to be an easy, quick video on basically me adding Ollama and a web UI to my existing server. I've been playing around with Ollama for a while on the machine as it sits by remoting in and just using command prompt, but I wanted to add this fancy web UI to it. Now, the problem is this is running server 2019 which lacks WSL2 support, and I could never get Docker to run on it. This machine over here is a V1 Xeon with only 8 cores and 16 threads and literally less than half the power of the other one. I could get it up and running, but again, I don't want it running on this machine. This was just a headless workstation. Now, I was able to get the web UI to run in Docker on here and point to this server, but I don't want to have to run the web server on the laptop. So we're going to upgrade this server just for WSL2 support to Windows Server 2022. And in fact, we're not just going to upgrade it. That's why I'm backing this up. We're going to do a complete clean install. Alright, so I'm still remoted into it, backing up the spinning rust as a precaution, but I should still be able to adopt the volumes, no problem. Now originally I planned on downsizing, but now it looks like I'm probably going to buy a new motherboard and drop all these guts into a new case and power supplies so I can fit some longer NVIDIA graphics cards in here. As you see, there's no graphics card in here now. I'm going to have to put one in to reinstall Windows Server, but most of the time it runs without one, and the 32 threads, 16 cores, and 40 megs of cache in that Xeon just chew through Ollama, no problem. Alright, so it's done backing up. We're going to get it shut down, get this graphics card in temporarily so I can get Windows Server 2022 installed and activated, get it configured for remote access, get it back in the rack. Once it's back in the rack and I'm able to remote into it, I'll continue with screen capture from my main workstation and setting up the AI, getting Plex, getting the drives adopted again, and getting the server all set back up from scratch. Alright, so it's dark out now, right? I'm still at it. And why? Because WSL2 is available to Windows Server 2022 after you get all the updates. Yeah, so I had to start all over.
One eternity later.
Alright, so after wasting almost 2 days now, the solution was really simple. I just installed Docker Desktop for Windows. This still does require WSL2. Alright, and the Windows version of Ollama that is running on Windows Server 2019. Right, this is much better because it gives you a UI to handle your containers. I don't know why. If you're running Windows specifically, just download Docker for desktop. Download Ollama, and then you literally run one script in PowerShell. Run that one script, and it's done. Everything's good to go. As you see, remoted into the server here. This is remote desktop. I am down here on my main computer, and I get a question, and you can watch all these cores start to think. There you go. Alright, so now we can get the rest of the server services back up and running. Alright, the servers are back in the rack. Everything is back up and running. I ended up with Docker for desktop, so I got a full GUI, full GUI to manage all my Docker containers within Windows, which I wouldn't have had if I would have actually followed the Network Chuck video. This is so much easier within Windows. You download Docker for desktop, you download Ollama for Windows, and then you run one script in PowerShell and it's done. That is so much easier than the other method. And I wasted a ton of time, but hey, you learn, right? So everything here is set up. I did not go over setting back up my Omada controller software. There's plenty of videos you can see on that. And I didn't go back through setting up. I didn't capture setting back up the Windows imaging server. That took a long time. I forgot to do screen capture, and honestly, with all the explanation stuff that's needed as you go, if you wanted to use it as a guide, you might as well go over and watch the Craft Computing video. He did an excellent guide that actually shows you how to do everything properly. This is not a guide video at all. This is more like documenting my failure until I finally made it work. But that is it for this low quality video. I will see you guys in the next one.